In this week's episode, have I gone international? Oh, Canada. And do you know the practice to pause rule? Or the pause to practice? Before we get into the episode, please give me a cheeky little follow on Instagram, Miss Brightside25, and I'd love for you to give me a follow on TikTok and Facebook too. And I am Miss Brightside25 on them all. Let's get into it. Welcome back to Miss Brightside, the podcast. Oh, Canada. I've gone international, baby. This is genuinely the fourth time I've tried to record this episode. I've had a disastrous recording plans. First failure was Cardiff Airport. I was too tight to pay for the paid Wi-Fi. Huge lesson learned there. And when I tried to upload it, the recording, it crashed because I was using the free Wi-Fi. When I tried to rejoin the Wi-Fi paid, I couldn't do it. Lost it. It was like, it's okay, I'm recording an episode and I'm there. Went in the garden, did a full episode for you. It glitched. I sound like a robot. Fuming, tapping, raging. And now I started to record an episode again and it wasn't connected to my microphone, I realised. That was a waste of time, so we're on fourth attempt. Not that you need to know all the information. But I've gone international, I'm in Canada, and I've had an absolutely fabulous time so far. If you haven't seen my Instagram video on my journey from Cardiff Airport to Toronto, get over and have a little look. Miss Brightside25, my little vlog I've done. So what have I been up to before I came? Basically packing, surviving and thriving. Wedding of the year happened. It was absolutely fantastic. Then I got into organisation mode and packing mode. So I'm here. I managed to pack light. Can you believe it? Well, half light. Half my suitcase was chocolate because, fact of the day for you, Canadian chocolate is absolutely disgusting. And the first time I came over here, I remember buying Smarties in the petrol station or gas station, and they were absolutely foul. So I just don't understand why they wouldn't keep the recipe the same. Cadbury's, Nestle, no, they mix it up. Cadbury's chocolate out here is disgusting. So I always bring a load of chocolate. That's my offering because I get to stay with Katie and Kent and the boys. So that's my payment for staying. Which, gotta have a giggle at. That's my payment. So, what have I come on to talk to you about? I was in the garden. I was talking to you all about the random stuff that's like birds. It blows my mind. Like, there's just skunks walking down the street, raccoons. I seen raccoons for the first time I came here. That all blows my mind. But apparently they're really pesky things. It's the opposable thumbs. They can undo things, they can break into buildings, and they can cause loads of damage. But they are very, very cute. Skunks got stinky butts, so they are less cute. But to me, they're cute. They're like, oh, you've never seen a skunk before? I'm like, no, this is fantastic. Anyway, I'm going to get Katie and TJ on to talk about Canada versus UK, things that are just madly different. So we can learn a little bit about international life. Yeah, so I'm going to get those on in the next few episodes. I'm roping them into the podcast. So what have I come on to talk to you about? Well, I went on a course probably about a month or two ago now, called the 7 Principles to Highly Effective People. And it really blew my mind. As cheesy as it sounds, it's really helped me get organised. So, like, me being organised and able to pack better to come on this holiday is a game changer because I'm always panicking to know where my stuff is. So, it has helped me organise my life. There's a couple of themes. It's nothing brand new. It's not reinventing the wheel. There's a couple of things in there that has really made me think. And one of the things I particularly want to come and talk to you about is the practice of pausing. Also, I brought my charger, brought my laptop with me. As a little side note, I've just had to pause the podcast because my battery was low on my laptop, only to realise who didn't bring a 3-pin plug with an adapter, because apparently I didn't think I needed it. Luckily, Elliot saved the day, and we've got a laptop charger that fits a Canadian plug. So we're in for a winner. The podcast can continue. Yeah, so back to what I was saying. I went on this course. There's some really, really cheesy bits about it, but there's some really good elements that have really, as cheesy as it sounds, changed my life. It's made me be a little bit of a different person, even though I just said it helped me organise and I forgot my sleeping plug. But I would have forgotten about 15 things to come on this holiday, so we've seen that as a win. What I wanted to talk to you about is the power of pausing and thinking before we speak. Now, you might think to yourself, yeah, Lisa, I do that all the time. It's easy. Or, that's easier said than done. When I'm tapping with human raging, someone's really wound me up. So what exactly does that mean? And why am I talking to you about it? And it's about remembering that we've got the power to choose on how we respond. We might not be able to choose the situation we're in, but we have the power to control how we speak in that situation. Which, we all get frustrated, as you will all know, or may not know. I'm a super highly opinionated person. I'm passionate. I love things, and even when I'm super passionate about things, that's when I'm like, no, that's not right, didn't it? But I will. I feel like one of my strong points about myself is I will apologise if I'm wrong. I would apologise and go, oh, do you know what? I got that into sick. And being a bigger person and being able to do that does make a big difference, I think, to reflecting on what sort of person you are and how we get there. So what is it about the power of pausing, and what sort of things can we use to help us practice that, basically? It's about trying not to be reactive in the situation and proactive ways to pause and use different language. One of the big things is you're really frustrated and you instantly respond. You can use respond without thinking, you avoid the situation even if you're annoyed with somebody, you blame others for what you've said, what you've done, what mistakes happened, and you just get defensive. Well, that happened because of this, and as cheesy as it sounds, before we choose to say something, if we just take a second and count into 10, just go, right, they've just said this to me. How am I going to choose to respond to that? Taking a deep breath. It's just that moment. And I'll share a bit of knowledge with you from working on the world of HR and doing many, many in an interview. Is one thing I see a lot is we will say to people, just take a second, read the question before you answer, take your time. And before we've even finished the question, you can see they're ready and ready to go. And they might have practiced the question, they might know the answer, and that's okay. But I'd strongly recommend taking a pause. If you haven't got a bottle of water, if there isn't a glass of water on the table, get a glass of water, take a sip, and gather your thoughts before you respond, before you start answering that question. It makes a huge difference. Same as if you go on a tangent. I'm a tangenter. I love a tangent. And in an interview, some people do go on a tangent and they forget what the question is. Ask that person to remind you what the question is. Take a breath, take a sip of water to gather your thoughts before you start answering again. Makes a big old difference to gathering your thoughts before you, when I get agitated, annoyed, happy, all different situations, you've got to listen to the way your body is as well. Is your leg twitching? Can you feel like your heart racing? Is your body language defensive? And that's all a way to spot is, how is that answer going to come out? Are you going to react to what somebody said? So here's a question to you. Stop and reflect for a minute. How do you respond in a frustrating situation if you're angry? Are you reactive? Are you like, rah, rah, rah? Do you pause? Right, I need to take a breath. I need to think about what I'm going to say. And how can you do that? Well, this links seamlessly into my last episode I did around the 10-10-10. How will I feel about this in 10 seconds, 10 minutes, 10 hours, 10 days, 10 years? That's really helpful. Like I said, we can't always be in control of the situation we're in. What we can be in control of is the way we respond, which takes time to grow into, I think, as you're an adult, and hindsight. That makes, a big difference. And asking for help is also proactive. So I find sometimes if we're struggling with something to do, it's easy to go, oh, it's so-and-so's fault. We have the freedom to make that decision and how we're going to respond. That self-awareness, that willpower not to immediately respond, because sometimes our willpower, I'm like, all I want to do is just get my answer out there, because I'm not listening to what they want to say to take in and actively listen. I'm listening to respond. And I'll talk about that another day. I think that's an episode of its own. But what can I influence in my life? There's some things I cannot influence, but my choice and my opportunity to be proactive for my answer and be proactive in my language is something I can influence. I can influence how I deal with that situation or how I respond to that situation. What's reactive and proactive language for starters? So you've got reactive language would be, it's not my fault. I had to do that. We have no choice but to do this. They won't let me. There's nothing I can do. I can't do that. I can't do this. This is why I haven't done it. And another way of flipping that is looking at the proactive language. I take responsibility for that. That was my fault. Right. Let's look at this. How do we move forward? I'm choosing that option and this is why I'm choosing it. Let's look at all our options. Let's get everybody else's opinion. I will choose to see what I can do to this. A big thing for me is flipping that I can't do something into this sentence, which is, I think, is much more powerful. I may not be able to do the whole task you've asked me to do, but I can do this much of it. And if I do this part of the task, be aware I might not be able to achieve this other thing. So that's like big in the world of work, is saying, right, how urgent is that task you're asking me to do? Where should it be on the priority list? But be aware, if it's urgent, that's fine. I'm not going to be able to do all these other things. Be aware these will drop off if I do that for you. And then you set that expectation, because I can't do it all, but I can do this for you. And that goes with anything in relationships, in friendships, because, I'm fiery, I'm opinionated, and sometimes I can say, well, I can do this for you, but I can't do that. And it's just sort of trying to weigh up what we control. So what type of person are you? Are you reactive? Do you take control of situations? Do you, or are you able to take that breath and go, right, before I respond now, I'm going to do this? So I'll take you back to a video that I've watched a few times, and it's quite powerful, really. They give children a shaving foam can, and they tend to squeeze it all out. And they love it, because they're like, yeah! And they're playing in the shaving foam, and then they go, I need you to get all the shaving foam now back in the can. It's about the power of, or they go, oh, I can't get it all back in. It's about the power of words you use. You can't take some of the things you say back. So rather than immediately reacting, take that breath, take that pause, and now have a way you do it. Now, it might be an email for work, and you might be like, right, one of my favourite tricks is I write an email in the morning. If it's quite a difficult email to write, or I'm quite passionate about something, and I won't send it till the afternoon. Gives me time to pause and reflect in the day. And you could do that with other things. We're in a society where we feel we have to instantly, like at a click of a finger, respond to people, but there's nothing wrong with taking that time before you send that text message. Because let's be honest, we've all had a WhatsApp, a text message, and we're like keyboard warriors and we want to type all the answers back. Giving yourself that hour, or sleeping on that decision, as I've talked about before you respond to these things, makes a big difference. So here's my challenge for you this week, if you're up for it. Take that moment to pause before you respond. Remember, you might not be able to control the situation, but you can control your response wherever possible. And it is okay, if you haven't been able to control your response, to think, right, let's stop, reflect. How can I learn so I can not do this again? Or how can I learn and reflect so I know how to do better next time? All of those things. Well, I'm going to have an absolutely amazing week this week, I have to say, because I'm in Canada with my family, as I call them. They are my family. Just relaxing, podcasting, living a little bit of the Canadian lifestyle before we'll come back to the UK next week. So I hope you all are in the heat wave, because I know we've all been melting. It's been disgustingly hot. But I have to say, and this is a little bit of a rub-it in, I didn't have a fan last week when I was in the heat wave. It was like, I didn't have a temperature gauge, but I guess it was about 38 degrees in my bedroom. And I'm in a house with aircon. And let me tell you, it's a game changer. If the heat waves keep continuing in the UK, I'm definitely going to invest in some aircon. Anyway, that's enough waffle for me. Have an absolutely amazing week. Thank you so much for listening to me. You don't understand how much it means to me, you guys listening. But more importantly, give us a little cheeky follow on Instagram if I haven't already done it. Miss Brightside25. And remember, see the positives even in the little things. And have an absolutely amazing week.